Shalom, Yashrala. This your presentation of much love for you. I can pushing this truth and sincerity on the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here lesson. Lord's will we'll be able to get through it. I'm having some technical difficulties with all my apps crashing, but nevertheless, Lord's will we'll be able to get through this here lesson. All right, which I'm going to touch on World War III in the scriptures. All right, because and also simultaneously the downfall of America. All right, because this is how it all ends. And, contrary to popular belief, America has an end date, and we're not going to try to touch on the date, but it has a expiration date, more or less to say, just like all the old civilizations that there were in the past, as things was all going good, the people could see their civilization falling, man. The Egyptians, they was the head of the globe at that point in time, but they never thought that they could fall, man. All right, same with the Babylonians, the Medo-Persians, the Grecians, the Romans. When you go, especially when you go into the Roman Empire, they said that they was, they had ironed out all the kinks into the system and everything, and guess what wound up happening to them? All right, the same thing that's going on over here in America, man. All right, and under this here, America is the golden candle, which it's the golden city, but nevertheless, they think that they have everything all ironed out in a perfect system, just the perfect way of doing things, but nevertheless, they talk about like capitalism is better than totalitarianism, socialism, and things like that, and this is the way to be, a democratic ruled place. But ultimately, this place is set to fall, all right, and that's based off of not how they were running and ruling the nation, that's on a carnal sense, obviously they was corrupt, so it was going to crumble, but ultimately, based off of the scriptures, all right, the prophecies, all right, it had a begin date and an end date, all right, and we're approaching that end date, all right. So we're going to start off here in the book of Joel, all right, going into this here lesson, what is it, Joel 3 and 9. All right, it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, all right. It says, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. So this is the sentiment that you have going on that's taking place right now, You see, well, let me keep reading. Let's not start this shit. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I am strong. All right. And this is what you have going on with these nations right now. All right. They've, after what was that, World War II, and the establishment of the United Nations, they said that, oh, look, we don't have to have war anymore and everything like that. So a lot of these nations started putting all their resources into developing their countries and everything like that, and not necessarily focusing on, military might and everything. But now you're starting to see them shift that their directives from, trying to develop their countries into, stockpiling weapons and things like that, preparing for a great battle. All right. And choosing sides, Every nation that you see out there is pretty much doing the same thing. You don't have some nations like, we don't think that that's coming, so we ain't even going to worry about it. Pretty much all of them are preparing for this great battle. All right. Verse 11, assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit and judge the heathen round about. So ultimately, this is, the end, not only the end of Esau's rule, but the end of wickedness ruling, these heathen and everybody else like that ruling, man. Now it's time for Israel to have that global and supreme and, eternal rule right now. All right. And this is what you're seeing going on, where the Lord is drawing up all these different nations. All right. That all put their hands on the children of Israel, which was all nations. All right. Bringing them out into that great battle, which you know of as World War III. All right. Verse 13, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow. The fats overflow, and their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decisions. For the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. So, you have basically, it says multitudes in the valley of decision. So this is going to be that great battle, which is going to be, known as World War III, where you have all these nations bringing bringing everything out to the battle, man. Because we're about to go into a thermonuclear war, and really you have to pretty much use all that you got in this, man. All right, it's not like, oh, I'm gonna just use a certain percentage of what I got and everything. Like, no, man, this is where they're gonna pull out everything and all the stops, man. All right, you're going to have a draft coming back around because they're going to need more and more soldiers. All right, this is why you still see them over there in the Middle East, because they know that that's where, according to prophecy, this great world war is going to take place. So it would make no sense for them to go over there under George Bush, and then within 20 years bring all that equipment and all those troops all the way back over here just to try to move them all the way back over there. You got to understand the logistics of going to war, man. This is why it's not really, in modern days time today, it's not very beneficial for you to have a very large military as far as having all these people, right? Like you hear about China with a 2 million man army. Just based off the logistics alone, think about the amount of money you're spending just to feed all 2 million of these soldiers, man. All right, think about the time that it would take for you to move 2 million people from one place to another place, to the battlefield, man. All right, and also to house all these people, man. All right, think about all the water that they would consume. All right, so it's not really, this isn't, very, how do I say, it's not very much a smart thing to have a big military like that. But nevertheless, Esau has all this technology and drones and things like that. But nevertheless, they're going to use everything that they got, man. All right, because this is going to be the war of the war to end all wars. You got World War III. Then you also have the Lord's going to come back in those chariots, and then these nations are going to fight against the Lord. All right, so let me go to the book of Revelation. It's a lucky for these pop-ups. I have no idea what's going on my phone here. Oh, I know where it's grabbing. This is Revelation 11 and 14. It says the second woe is past. All right, so this is going into the World War III or World War II. It says the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. All right, and they only speak about 3 of these. All right, which is World War I, World War II, and World War III. All right, so going into these things, again, the Bible speaks about these things. It was all prophesied in the scriptures. You're not gonna have a World War IV. Where in between World War III, where Esau falls, you're not going to have the so-called Chinese or the Moabites take rulership and rule for a certain amount of time. Then you have another world war. No, man, because they're using the ultimate weapons that destroy the lands in this here war, man. All right, and also the Lord is going to come back and is going to fight against. Well, let me read the next verse. Let me read verse 14 and 15. It says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And the seventh angel sounded, and there was a great voice in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world, all right, are become the kingdoms of our Lord and of his Mashiach, and he shall reign forever and ever. So if he's going to be the king of the earth and rule forever and ever, all right, there's not going to be any contenders, no challengers or anything like that, man. This is going to be the war to end all wars and usher in that everlasting kingdom. All right. This is Isaiah 9, chapter 9 and verse 5. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. All right, so if you watch like the movie 300, all right, where they first go through the hot gates, the first time that they encounter the Persians in a battle scene, right, they're in what they call the hot gates or Thermopylae, all right, and they're in that one little, those between those big ass crevices of those walls or whatever, so they couldn't be outflanked. Once the Persians started charging at them, you know what I'm saying? It was just mano y mano, man. All you hear was swords clanging and shields and everything like that. It was just like, they was just pushing up on one another, man. All right. But it says, and that was the way that they fought wars back in the olden days. It says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. So all you hear is, ching, 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 just a bunch of mayhem. All right. And people dying and limbs getting sliced off. But this shall be with burning and with fuel of fire. All right. So again, think back to that scene in 300 where they were starting to go through the hot gates the first time they encountered the Persians. All right. And you got those 300 that's in between those walls. And then you have this massive Persian army that's just bombarding them and everything like that. Now, that's the old ways. Now, just imagine in this here, where we were burning and fuel of fire. In modern days time, if that was to happen, like I said, having a 2 million manned army is not really smart to have, you know what I'm saying? So imagine that same scene in 300, right, where the Persians is running up on the Spartans, and shit, they was just to drop a regular ass bomb on their ass, not even no nuclear bomb. You drop one bomb on all them people over there, and then that whole military has been decimated with just one bomb, man. All right, you go take one minigun to all them people and just start mowing them down, man. All right, so you have to understand that in this point in time, man, technology and things have been increased And now, Esau is coming to his perfection and his blessing with this here sword, man. They have all kind of devastating weapons from, the ultimate weapon, those thermonuclear missiles that's going to destroy the lands. They also got lasers, drones. They got robots. They got all kind of crazy shit nowadays, man. All right, so this is going to be a war that's fought with live munitions, all right? Not just swords and bows and arrows and things like that, man. All right, this war is going to be a lot more dangerous because, back in those days, you had to have a man that was be able to pick up a sword and swing that sword and not get tired. You have fatigue. If you're out there fighting on the battlefield for 8 hours straight swinging that sword, you're going to get tired after a while, man. All right, I don't care how big and strong you are, you know what I'm saying? After you run out of energy, the weakest man can just come up on you and just, put a knife up in your back, man. But how much more into these days where you may have one drone controller in this little room in Colorado flying drones over the Middle East, bombing the shit out of people, you know what I'm saying? And after his 8-hour shift is up, you bring in another dude and the drone's still flying and everything like that, man. All right, so, hey, man, this is going to be a completely different type of war that we're looking at, man. A completely different dynamic, man. A great slaughter, man. All right? On a massive scale. This is Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. It says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of hosts, and it shall leave them neither root nor branch. So again, like I was saying, man, you got Spartans versus, all those thousands and thousands of Persians, man. Hey, man, just imagine one bomb going off, man. All right, it's going to burn like an oven, a real oven, man. All right, and ultimately when these thermonuclear missiles go off, man, it's going to be like a besom of destruction. Matter of fact, well, I'll grab that. I need to read quite a bit of this, and I'm gonna jump around, but nevertheless, there's gonna be a great sweeping of fire, with these thermonuclear missiles, man. Go and look up nuclear missile tests, man. All right, and just imagine if you were standing 50 feet away from the epicenter of that bomb that was going off. You think you get a fire, man? All right, or shit, you go get you an Indy car or one of those top drag race cars as fast as shit, and let that bomb go off within, a mile away from your ass and see if you can outrun that shit, man. That shit is going to come as a sweeping wind, all right? Let me read this from the top. Jeremiah 50, verse 1. The word of Yahweh spake against Babylon and against the land of the Chaldeans by Jeremiah the prophet. Declare ye among the nations and publish and set up the standard. Publish and conceal not. And that's what we're doing right now, prophesying the downfall of this here kingdom, letting them know how it's going to end for them. Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded, Merodach is broken in pieces, and her idols are confounded, her images are broken in pieces. For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land what? Desolate. All right, you have to understand these words, man. This here land that's going to come out of the north is speaking of Russia with their conglomerations of nations. All right, they're going to be using the Lord's weapons of his indignation, which are those thermonuclear missiles, all right, to make what? The land of Babylon, which is America, desolate, all right? So, hey, man, it ain't going to be nothing else left over here in America, man, all right? Just dust and the smell of smoke, man, all right? It says, for out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast, all right? So, like I was just saying, it's not going to be anything left over here. Let me jump down to verse 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. And ultimately, this is just talking about Russia and their allies right now. But we also know, reading the scriptures, what is that, Revelation like 17 and 17, somewhere around there. All right, but basically, and also Obadiah 1 and 7, America's allies are going to also turn on America and also shoot nukes on America, man. All right. It says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence, all right, she shall be taken. So from the north country, from thence she shall be taken. All right, because why? They're going to use a weapon called, and it's prophesied here. If you can read through the scripture, it says, from thence she shall be taken. From the land of the north, America's going to be taken. How the hell is she going to be taken? And we're going to read about these arrows that they're going to shoot from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth, man. I don't know nobody that can shoot one arrow from one county line to the other county line unless you're standing on the border, or from one state line to the other, across the other state. you know, unless you know, again, on a borderline. But just imagine you trying to shoot an arrow from Georgia to Tennessee, man. A bow and arrow. Or from the bottom of Florida or central Florida to the top of Florida, man. It's not going to work out for your ass, man. All right, so we can understand that these things are talking about what? You know, a long-range piercing weapon. All right, and what's the modern-day long-range piercing weapon? These missiles. All right, and what's the ultimate missile that can make your land desolate? All right, these intercontinental ballistic thermonuclear missiles, man. All right. It says, "For lo, I will raise the cause to come up against Babylon, an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. The arrow shall be as a mighty expert man, and none shall return in vain." So they're going to be as a mighty expert man. Why? Because they have this, what they call smart missiles now, smart technology, man. Back in the olden days in World War One, I think it was. Was it even World War One? Nah, it was like World War Two. Like in World War II, their way of delivering bombs at that point in time, well, besides Hitler and them, in World War II, the way of them delivering bombs was just a free fall. They would fly a plane over your ass and open up the bomb bay doors and just let the bombs free fall out the bottom of the planes, man. All right. Contrary to popular belief, they actually had nukes in World War II. It just wasn't really feasible for them to use them because they had them on pretty much like rocket launchers, and whoever, you know, was to shoot that damn thing off, not only them, everybody around them would be dead. So it was like pointless, right? Now, in the middle of World War II, well, during World War II, you had Hitler and Germany, which was the most advanced nation that there was on the face of the earth, and still basically to this day, because that's the technology that we're using. You know, when you understand the end all be all of that war, America and Russia split their whole stockpile, right? And then we hadn't advanced no technology since that point in time. You know, all the things that you could think of that we got now, from drones and shit like that, all that come, the S-400, all that come from Russia, or from Germany, Slovakia. All right, we had this guy named Wernher von Braun, all right, who back in those days was working on what they called the V1 and the V2 rocket, right? And if you understand, like what the Blitzkrieg was basically Germany and them shooting basically like ballistic missiles, rockets, all right, over on like parts of Europe and everything like that, raining. Come on, man. All right, Salak. Basically raining down these missiles on their ass, man. All right. So, and then from there, you had Project Paperclip, where America and Russia, or this was the American side, but America and Russia split their scientists in the spoils of war. All right, split their technology and everything like that. And then this is where you had, you know, the so-called space race between America and Russia. All right, because they was trying to so-called launch rockets into outer space and orbit. You see, they told you they was going to the moon, but if you understand the technology that they had, right, and to shoot these missiles, you had the V1, the V2 rocket, right? But now you have, like I said, going into that space race, that was still the vehicle that you would have to launch these thermonuclear missiles off with, right? So if you understand how those work, all right, they don't shoot these missiles. Like, Russia's not going to aim no damn missile to either the east or to the west and try to shoot a missile across the damn ocean and hit America with it. That's not going to happen. That shit is... Well, they got nuclear-powered cruise missiles, and they could technically do that now. But for the intercontinental ballistic missiles, what they do is they'll take these missiles, all right? And again, like I said, they are on the same thing as from the old ways, the V1 and V2 rocket, which was transformed into them, what you saw in the space race, is shooting these rockets up into outer space to basically, quote-unquote, go to the moon, right? Just to go into Earth's upper orbit, all right? And what they were doing from there was... basically, like I said, if you understand these weapons, they would shoot the missile up into Earth's orbit, let you know, the free fall orbit carry the warhead around to the right position, and then just let, you know, use a little bit more fuel and let that put it back into orbit, and then all of a sudden rain it down on their target. All right, so when you look at the modern day nations now, and you see them trying to have this so-called space race and get up into, you know, send satellites up into outer space and everything like that, that's ultimately them preparing the vehicle to launch these nukes off with, man. All right, because this is the way that they're going to have to use these things, man. All right. So, let me jump back down. Verse 10. And Chaldea shall be a spoil, all that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith Yahweh. Well, let me just keep reading. Because you were glad, because you rejoice, O ye destroyers of my heritage, because you're grown fat as a heifer at grass and bellow as bulls. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land and desert. because of the wrath of the Most High, it shall not be inhabited. It shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hissed at all her plagues. You got to understand, man, this is what's being prophesied in the scripture, man. There is going to be a land that's going to be made wholly desolate where there's going to be nobody there dwelling there ever again, man. All right. And what do you see? What nation do you see all the nations pretty much setting themselves in array against? It's America. All right. The Golden City, man. All right. And this is what you see going on right now, man. This is the place where you're going to have that lake of fire, man. From coast to coast, all you're going to see is burning. All right. Verse 14, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bendeth the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against Yahweh. So it says, spare no arrows, all ye that bend the bow. All you nations with missile technology, whether it be thermonuclear missiles or just regular missiles, man. All right, all ye that bend the bow, all you that have these missiles, all right, bend your bow at her, all right, aim at America, man. All right, prepare the launch, all right, get ready to send these nukes off, man. All right, and this is what you have going on right now, man. These nations are preparing themselves to and preparing themselves to use all of their missile capability, man. All right, because we can also read in scripture how after this here war, the elect's gonna come back down and find all the weapons of war and burn them all with fire, man. So, and if you understand what they call MAD, mutual assured destruction, if let's just say Russia or America let's say America was to send off one nuke over to Russia, all right, Russia has what they call a dead hand system, whereas they don't need anybody over there living, where it would detect that it was an incoming missile coming in. All right, they would shoot up in the air. This system would activate, and it would shoot up one missile into the air. All right, like a radio beacon. All right, which would launch all their missiles off onto all their adversaries, because it's like, well, shit, we don't know how devastating this blow is going to be, and we don't know if we have enough time to make a counterattack, man. So, and that goes for any and every nation, man. If they see that there's one nuke up in the air that's going off, and there's a chance they ain't going to be able to knock it out the sky before it get close enough, they got to launch everything, man. All right. So they're not going to spare no arrows in this. All right. Verse 15, shout against her round about. She hath given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of Yahweh. Take vengeance upon her as she have done. Do unto her. So as you've seen, a couple of shit, really, since America, really after World War II, America's been decimating all these other nations, bombing them and stealing all their resources and just screwing the people over, man. So what do you think these nations are going to do to them, man? Look at the last 20 years of the Middle East, what America's done to the Middle East, man. All right, every single stone, rock, and piece of dust has been turned over in the Middle East. What do you think is going to happen over here in America, man? All right. Verse 16, cut off the sword from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest, for fear of the oppressing sword. They shall turn everyone to his people, and they shall flee everyone into his own land. And so this is what you have going on. Some of these wise folks, some of these people that are over here that's not so-called Americans, right? Or maybe they might have been born over here, but let's just say some so-called Chinese people. They see these things coming, man. So they about to take their ass the fuck back home, man. Same with these Russians. If they smart, they're like, look, bro, y'all don't want to smoke with Putin. Y'all really don't want to smoke over there with homie. And so now what? They going back to their own spot, man. You see a lot of these businesses leaving America and everything like that. Because why? They see this in the downfall of America. Let me jump down to verse 22. It says, the sound of battle is in the land of a great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? All right, the hammer of the whole earth. Who is the hammer of the whole earth? Who has been, again, decimating all the other nations since World War II? Because in World War II, right, the whole problem was you had a couple different countries. You had China, you had Russia as well. But really, they wasn't really going at it with nobody else. It was really just Germany. And Germany was under attack by them international bankers, and they was doing what they doing to our country right now, devaluing all the currencies and everything like that, depleting everything they had, liquidating their country, man. Then that gave rise to a charismatic leader named Adolf Hitler. All right. He was, I believe, the chancellor at first, and then he became basically the ruler over there, right? But nevertheless, he was like, well, fuck it. If we all finna die anyway and all be slaves over here, we might as well put all our resources together and, raise up a war. But, and then there was things that are behind the stories with that, because you had Paul and Max Wahlberg that was funding both sides of the fight and everything like that. And you had the computer components that was driving and flying those jets that Hitler was designing and everything like that, because he was the first person with jets and the first person with like actual missiles instead of free falling bombs. But that wouldn't be able to happen unless they had those computer chips from IBM. So hey, it is what it is. But nevertheless, Who is the hammer of the whole earth? Since that point in time, who has been decimating and putting all these other nations into subjection, man? After the drop of the bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, ain't nobody wanted to smoke with America, man. They just knew better. They was like, nah, bro, we don't want to smoke because shit, we seen what happened over there. Now they got some even more devastating weapons. So nobody really want to smoke, man. All right. So it says, verse 23 again, it says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder? It's a lot. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art taken, O Babylon, and thou wasn't aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against Yahweh. So, see, they thought in their own witchcraft that they can keep lying to these other nations and keep pulling the wool over their eyes and everything like that. But now, the Most High is sobering up these other nations, waking them up to the things that America's been doing and making them make these backdoor deals with one another to cut America out the picture and also start depending on Russia, man. All right. So, hey, man, America's caught into their own trap and their own snare, man. Everybody's turning their back on America, man. All right. Hey, this is the perfect scene of Training Day at the very end where Denzel going to the hood and everything like that. And he out there with the what's his name, Ethan Hawke or whatever. And then all of a sudden, you know, he had set a snare for his own self because he had pride in his heart, man. He thought not only because he was a cop, you know what I'm saying, that nobody over there would touch him, but because he was a crooked cop, right, that everybody over there would have respect for him. So that was his perfect balance. It's like, look, I'm a cop, so if y'all want to try to test me, then I got something for y'all. But I'm a crooked cop, so look, y'all know y'all can trust me in certain things, so y'all gonna, you know, give me my little so-called pass. But once they started seeing him getting weak and started to fall and everything like that, it was like, you know what, now is our chance and our opportunity to get this here burden up off of our back, man. All right. So it says, hey, going back to that same analogy, they seen an actual so-called righteous cop that was willing to take that wicked cop up out of their way, you know, and then the so-called righteous cop didn't see nothing wrong with what was going on with the Jakes that was living in the hood anyway. They were like, well, he ain't really a threat to us. If anything, he here to kind of help us out, man. So look, he was put into their own snare, you know. Verse 25, it says, Yahweh have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation, for this is the work of Yahweh, power of hosts in the land of the Chaldees. So, hey, look, these thermonuclear missiles, all right, is the Lord's weapons of his indignation. He has created them for a sole purpose, and that sole purpose is to destroy this here land, which you know of as America, man. All right, contrary to popular belief, they're going to use these thermonuclear missiles, all right, and it's going to rain down here in America, man. The virgin daughter of Babylon, man, because she ain't never been touched, and everybody then got comfortable in their pride. Oh, nah, man, they ain't gonna never happen to America. They ain't gonna never strike us. They ain't gonna never do this. They ain't gonna never do that, and so on and so forth, man. All right, but hey, lo and behold, the Most High was saving the best for last, man. All right, verse 26, come against her from the utmost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left. All right, think about these things, man. All right. What if, we as these teachers from Great Millstone, are wrong about this, Babylon or America isn't Babylon, right? Just for, bringing out the scriptures a little bit, let's just say that America isn't Babylon, right? Well, we're reading about the prophecies of a place called Babylon that's going to be utterly destroyed off the face of the earth, man. All right, that's still written in the scriptures. So you know that there's going to be a nation that's going to be utterly obliterated, right? Now, some people will say, this was ancient Babylon or Babel. Well, Nimrod and his kingdom, they wasn't destroyed like that, man. All right, Nebuchadnezzar and his kingdom, they wasn't destroyed like that, man. That shit's still over there. You can go look that shit up right now. In fact, Saddam Hussein started rebuilding some of them palaces over there and restoring a lot of that shit that was over there, man. All right, so that Babylon is still over there in basically the area of Iraq to this same day, man. Even though Esau went over there and started blowing all that shit up, it's still over there, man. There's still people living over there. There's still some kind of infrastructure still being over there, man. All right, so it wasn't utterly destroyed where no man will come through it no more, man. So what does that leave you to, man? All right, this going into different hints about the hammer of the whole earth. All right, what nation right now since the time of Nimrod, right? Or not Nimrod, from the time of Nebuchadnezzar ruling in Babylon, right? From that time up until this time, who's been the hammer of the whole earth? You had the Medo-Persians, right? But they failed. Then you had the Grecians, and then you had the Romans, which is the same damn people, man. All right. So we know, according to the scriptures, all right, the prophecies, all right, and the Spirit of the Lord showing us that what America is, that Babylon the Great, that place that was slated for that utter destruction, man. All right. Verse 27, slay all her bullocks, let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day is come in the time of their visitation. All right, and again, going into that, at the time of their visitation, because wow, this place ain't never been touched, man. But now it's time for you to get your number called, man. All right, it's like that old dope boy saying, you got 3 or 4 dope boys on the block. One get popped, the other one get popped. Now the third one is like, shit, man, they got popped 2, 3, 4, 5 months ago. The people don't know what the hell I'm over here doing and everything like that. I'm like, you think that you ain't gonna get popped, bro? All they doing is building a case on your ass, man. The Frank Lucas movie, American Gangster, man. He had known the cops was watching him from a long ass time ago, man. But they didn't just run in and arrest his ass. Nah, man, they was building a case on his ass so that once they did bring his ass in, there was a sure shot judgment that was going to go down, man. All right, and that's basically what the Lord is doing right here with Babylon, or these Edomites. All right, the voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of Yahweh, our power, the vengeance in his temple. Call together the archers against Babylon. So all the archers, all right, they that bend the bow, these people with missile capabilities. Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow. Camp against it round about, let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her works, according to all that she have done, do unto her. For she have been proud against Yahweh, the Holy, and against the Holy One of Israel. So, hey, man, all these nations remember what America has done to them, bombing them, causing regime change, brainwashing their people, stealing all their resources, man. All right, and making them look bad in the news and the media and everything like that, man. All right, these nations remember that, man. So they're going to take all this here out on America, man. All right. Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith Yahweh. All right. So, hey, this is going to be, let me grab a quick precept and come back to this. 2nd Ezra 16. I want to say like 32. 33. 2nd Ezra 16:33. The virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. All right, so they're talking about all these here women, right? It says, in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. So, hey, man, look, man, your ass go to World War III, you ain't coming back. Especially if you're in the American military. If your ass suit up and boot up in the American military, you can kiss your ass goodbye, man. Your ass is going to be buried in the sands of time over there in the Middle East, man. That's just the end-all be-all, man. All right, if you're a female and you got a husband that's over there, a son that's over there, a brother that's over there, you can kiss his ass goodbye, man. His ass is going down in part of the sands of time, man. All right, he about to be buried up under all that shit over there, man. Just like how you see them over there excavating and digging up all kind of shit over there in the Middle East and everything like that, man, or in Pompeii with Mount Vesuvius, buried all those people and all that ash and everything where you could dig them people up. That's what's going to happen to you modern day Americans over here, man. The majority, well, all you that suit up and boot up in the military, your ass is grass, man. You ain't coming back, man. All right, that's just it. That is what is prophesied in the scriptures. All right. Going back to Jeremiah 50 and 30. Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in that day, saith Yahweh. So, hey, this ain't my words. This is what the Lord has prophesied. Well, this is what the Lord said, and, he had the prophets tell us beforehand. It says, behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith Yahweh, power of hosts, for thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee, and the most proud shall be stubble and fall, and none shall raise him up, and I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him. So, hey, man, these thermonuclear missiles are going to wind up clearing this here place out. All right. See, I wanted to read all of this, but let me jump down a little bit. Verse 38, a drought is upon her waters. They shall be dried up for the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. So just imagine, Lake Michigan, or all these lakes and everything that you have over here in America, man, they gonna all be evaporated once this whole place is turned into what? The lake of fire, man. All right. It says, therefore, the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the islands shall dwell there, and the owls shall dwell there, and it shall be no more inhabited forever, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. So, well, let me keep reading. Verse 40, as the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities thereof, saith Yahweh, so that no man abideth there, neither shall the Son of Man, it says, neither shall the Son of Man dwell therein. So, just like, you can go on YouTube and look up Sodom and Gomorrah. You can go through there where you can see like the remnant of these old ass buildings and things like that, just the outline of them. But, where people, they'll take a tour and drive through there and they can just literally just touch the walls and it's nothing but ash, man. All right. It is still preserved there as an example of what happens if you live wickedly. All right. But guess what? There's nobody inhabit that place no more, man. All right. Verse 41, behold, a people shall come from the north, a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. Talking about them Russians, being headed by the Russians. All right. They shall hold the bow and the lance. They are cruel, and they shall not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, everyone put in array like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. So, amen. They're cruel, and they're not going to show mercy, because why? It's not like they're going to drop a thermonuclear missile over here and, all of a sudden, like in the movie Terminator, you can go on YouTube and type this up. It's called Sarah's Dream. Go on YouTube and type that in. You can get a picture of what I'm trying to explain here. All right, it's not going to be like these nukes is going to start raining down on the earth. Then all of a sudden the missile's going to see, oh, shit, there's a daycare over there. There's an elementary school over there. There's a senior citizen home over there. Oh, let's curve the fireball so we don't burn up these little children and these old people in that hospital over there where all them newborn babies and infants is at. No, man, this shit is not going to discriminate, man. Whatever's in his path going to get ate the fuck up. All right, it's not going to be nothing left, man. All right. It says, verse 43, the king of Babylon have heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs of a woman in travail. Behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan unto the habitation of the strong, but I will make them suddenly run away from her. And who is a chosen man that I may appoint over? For who is like me, and who shall appoint me the time? Who is the shepherd who shall stand before me? All right. So basically, well, let me finish it out. It says, therefore hear ye the counsel of Yahweh. So this is the Most High's plan, is to destroy this place that he have taken against Babylon, and his purpose that he have purposed against the land of the Chaldees. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, the cry is heard among the nations. So, like you read in Revelation 18, I really don't have the time to go into that. But, the merchant nations that trade with America, they're going to be wailing, And hell, anybody that's watching this on TV is going to see that great destruction. You think back to September 11th, all right? And that morning when that was being televised around the world, all right, when people seen that second plane hit the building, all right, people was like, oh, whoa. They was in a mourning state, all right? Then they doubled down when they seen those buildings start collapsing, man. That was a devastating visual to see, man. Nobody had, well, not to say nobody, but people in there, the regular everyday, him and her had never seen such so many people die in a matter of seconds, man. All right, thousands of people just die in a matter of seconds like that, man, turning into dust, man. All right. Jeremiah 51, read verse 1 to 3, it says, thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind. All right, going into those thermonuclear missiles. Unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall make her, and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Against him that bendeth the bow, let the archers bend his bow, and against him that lifted up his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. All right, so this is the purpose, the Most High's purpose against this whole place, that basically he would destroy this whole land up off the earth, man. All right. Let me jump down. Verse 11. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahweh hath raised up the spirit of the king of the Medes, all right, the Russians, for his device, which is what? Those thermonuclear missiles. For his device is against who? Babylon, which is America, to do what? To destroy it. Why? Because it is the vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon, make the watch strong, set up the watchmen, prepare the ambush, for Yahweh have both devised and done which he has spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. All right, so look, this is all the Most High's plan, and you see it being worked out as we speak, man. You see it now, all his plan, how do I say, coming together, all right? Jumping down, verse 28. Prepare against her the nations with the king of the Medes, and the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. You know, going back again into the Russians leading this here charge. And the land shall tremble for and sorrow, for every purpose of Yahweh shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitants. So this is the Most High's plan, is to make the land desolate, to make this here place no more, man. All right. And you think that the Most High's plan is not going to go as how he planned it? All right. It says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne the fight. They have remained in their holes. Their might faileth. They become as women. They are burned in their dwelling places. Her bars are broken. Let me jump down. Well, let me just read verse 37. We can close out. Verse 36, Jeremiah 51:36. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will plead thy cause. I will take vengeance for thee, and I will dry up her sea and make her springs dry. And Babylon shall become heaps, a dwelling place for dragons, and astonishment, and hissing without inhabitants. So, you know, you get the point there. You know, I'm not going to try to drag this on anymore. But, you know, this is pretty much the end-all, be-all for this here place over here, man. Because ultimately, you know, this is how America ends, you know. It's all going to end with the Big Bang, all right? I thought it was one more. Oh, here it is right here. But, yeah, you can read that. You know, I'm going to go ahead and close out that with that verse 52 through 58. Let me read through it real fast for edification's sake. Wherefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will do judgment upon her graven images, and through all the land the wounded shall groan. Though Babylon should mount up to heaven, and though she should fortify the heights of her strength, yet from me shall the spoilers come unto her, saith Yahweh. A sound of cry cometh from Babylon, and great destruction from the land of the Chaldees. Because Yahweh have spoiled Babylon and destroyed out of her the great voice, when her waves do roar like a great water, and noise of their voice is uttered. Because spoilers has come upon her, even upon Babylon, and her mighty men are taken. Every one of their bows is broken, for Yahweh power of recompense is surely requite. So, hey, man, America ain't gonna really have the upper hand in this, all right? In fact, they're gonna be you know, it's gonna be a flawless victory, man, all right? Because the spoilers, Salat. Verse 57, and I will make drunk her princes and her wise men and her captains and her rulers and the mighty men, and they shall sleep a perpetual sleep and not wake. And the king whose name is Yahweh of hosts. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken, and the high gates shall be burned with fire, and the people shall labor in vain. The folk in the fire, they shall be weary. So going into those missile defense systems, you know, they setting up all this new technology to stop Russia, but it's not going to work out, man. It's going to ultimately lead to their demise. So I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord, this here lesson was edifying unto the elect. Until next time, I say, citation, much love for your Aki and pushing the truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth, and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.